Hey, did you know that weather radar can show things other than storms, like here in this example? And this is actually something you'll see pretty often in the early mornings during spring, summer, and fall. You ever check?
My question is, have you tested the rainwater? And if you haven't, have you seen the results of our rainwater tests? And also, are you aware that many of the people sitting in this room right here have very high levels of barium, aluminum, and strontium in their blood? People are getting sick and dying. And we want the ADEQ not just to give us a little speech today, but actually to maybe perhaps speak out against it if you know it's going on. And if not, I would suggest you do a lot more investigation.
All right, guys, welcome in. Welcome back to Above Ground World News. I'd love to bring you guys some good news, but I just don't have it. It's never good news. If you're tuning in here, it's usually bad news. But we're going to get into this. Now, tons of people sent me this video. I mean, tons. It's by a YouTube channel called And We Know. Big channel, 188,000 subscribers, 105,000 views on this video. And what he's talking about here is he's talking about the Q post, and I didn't watch this whole video. I've never seen this guy's videos before, and I didn't have to watch very much of this video, because the moment you say that they're going to spray to clear the air, right there tells you, man, it's just a psyop. I know people want to believe that Trump's there to help them and all this Q nonsense. It's all a lie, man. If they're spraying anything out of a plane, it's not to help you. It's not to clear the air. You can't clear the air putting tons of heavy metal particles in the air. You know, we're here for a reason. Now, I'm here for a reason. I should be dead from the cancer I have. I should already be dead, but I'm here to give you guys a message. And this message right here is a bunch of crap. So do not believe in this stuff. This is false hope. This is like a false prophet. So, yeah. Anyway, let's jump into some headlines, and then we'll get into the rest of the bad news. Anyway, guys, Sony patent contact lenses taking pictures and recording videos when you blink with Nikola Tesla technology. Now, sometimes when I'm trying to tune into the mainstream to try to pull out some of their stuff there, you see these news people and these talking heads, and their eyes are blinking, and it reminds me of the light in a hard drive blinking. I mean, who knows if they're even real people? Have you seen the technology come out of MIT and out of Hartford and all that, where they can mimic anybody with just a simple web camera and make it look like the president, make it look like, you know, real stuff? So it's hard to decipher real between fake, but you just got to look at it as good between evil, you know. And back in 2003, I mean, they developed these RFID embedded antenna chips. I mean, these things are small. They're like a grain of pepper, and that stuff is like old technology. Now the smart lights are tracking your moves. You know, everybody buying these bulbs, you can hear these things buzzing, and you feel weird around them. But more people are switching to they call it energy-saving LED light bulbs. California company has found a way to turn them into smart networks that can collect and feed data. The new technological opportunities are also raising privacy concerns. Of course they are. Anyway, let me hurry up and get out of that for the fake stream, laying stream starts up. Now, here's something coming out of Microsoft. You know, all these big companies, I mean, you guys want to know who is poisoning us? Who is in control? It's the technocrats. It's the table of 300. It's the, you know, it's the dark side. It's nothing to do with these people in office. All these people in office are just little puppets too, just like the mainstream media. None of them can be trusted, not one of them. They were all put there on purpose, just like we're all here for a reason. We just have to find the reason that we're here. But anyway, this Microsoft is coming out with AI that's going to play a role in preserving the past. You know, the past they want you to know. Not the real past, not like the real the history. They hide all our true history. You know, they're talking about how they're going to try to salvage old community, you know, old languages and stuff. Man, they're just going to change everything to try to change the way people think. So all this technology, this is all evil stuff right here. The less technology, the better. What do they do with people when we're overpopulated? The same thing they do with the animals. They pull off Pearl Harbors, they pull off 9/11s, just like over here in Phoenix City. The USDA kills 200 geese in the Phoenix City Park due to overpopulation. This is the same thing they do to us with the chemtrails, with the bunker fuels, with the electromagnetics. Even though the 5G's going to totally destroy our DNA and our health, they're going to roll it out anyway. Why? Because of this. This is basically like a encoded message right here. This is what they're going to tell you that they're doing to us right now. This is why we all have cancer. This is why we're all sick. They think that we're just peasants. There's too many of us. They have to get rid of us. What do you think, the Georgia Guidestones are a joke? No. That's what they're following. In other news, here's an updated map of military sites where the DOD found cancer-causing chemicals in the drinking water. An environmental advocacy group has identified 58 more military sites where the levels of harmful chemicals used in firefighting foam have been detected in groundwater and drinking water sources, from the Elmendorf Air Force Base at Fort Richardson, Alaska, and Fort Estes, Virginia. This brings a total to 175 military installations and sites nationwide that are known to be contaminated by fluorinated compounds such as PFAS, according to the Environmental Working Group. In addition, 44 civilian airports are included, also used by the National Air Guard. So it just goes on and on. I mean, there's no good news. What would be the good news is if all these, we had a pots and pans revelation. That would be like they did in Iceland. They went in there and they pulled out all these corrupt politicians non-violently, and then he put normal people in there that has the people's interest at heart, not these people that are run by agendas and their satanic rituals and all that stuff. So Alaska needs to get more help to deal with the wildfires. Now I know out in Maui they pretty much got most of them fires contained, and I was going to get into some of these volcano and earthquake stuff, but I think I'm going to hold off on that just because we have tons of weather stuff we got to get into. We've had some big earthquakes down in Australia, Indonesia, California still, just going crazy. And in the meantime, you have 7,000 colleges and universities declare climate emergency with a plan to fight it. Not in one of these climate emergency. They want to go with this carbon neutral 2030, 2050, the Agenda 2030, 2050. See, it's Agenda 21 now. The movie 1984, it's here. Not one thing in here talks about climate control or climate engineering. Not one. You can't have a climate emergency unless you factor in the weather warfare that's going on above everybody's skies. And we're going to show you a bunch of it tonight. All lies. Yeah, we'll get into that stuff later. I think what we're going to do, see where I want to go. We'll get into the 16-day forecast here in a minute. I just want to show you guys something with this storm, this man-made storm Barry. Now, they've been pumping out bunker fuel and everything. Look, this kind of looks like kind of normal clouds, and you kind of zoom in on here. And you're saying, hey, what are these little kind of lines right here? A little bit of liners, check the layers. Still looking kind of shady. The clouds are kind of a different color. Oh, that's because they're totally injecting aerosols into the backside of this storm. Completely man-made synthetic clouds all the way around the storm. And I'm going to show you a little bit later in the show on all the different radar loops. Let's do a little quick one right now. Complete aerosols being deployed all the way around the storm. These are man-made. They're cloud-seeded, man-made storms steered with the electromagnetics. Let's go ahead and jump in and get this 16-day forecast out of the way, because we got some possible super heads up. Changes coming. All right, so we're gonna check out the GFS model first. We're going to go up 6 hours at a time, and we got something going to be conjured up later in the month down there in the Gulf of Mexico, and it's going to be just like a Hurricane Michael, unless we stop it, unless we push the issue and make them stop it. So anyway, here we are going up 6 hours at a time. Here's Monday, July 15th. We're going to go all the way up into Tuesday. You can see the range is going to be kind of sitting there. Here we are on Tuesday, July 16th. Get up here into Wednesday, July 17th. So it's just going to keep on hammering the Mississippi River, the Missouri rivers. This is a targeted attack. We're going to have some severe weather there for North Carolina, West Virginia. This is on Wednesday. Hold on, I got to move some stuff around here. And going up into New York. So let's take this up a little farther. And it's gonna, like, you're gonna have some storms parked there right over North Carolina, South Carolina, Philadelphia. All this, the whole East Coast is gonna get hammered. But it's gonna get worse. Here we are, still on Wednesday. Pretty good heavy storm still for Louisiana or Mississippi there. Sometimes I get these all mixed up. Severe storms for Minnesota here on Wednesday, July 17th. It's going to go right on over into Wisconsin. Possible tornadoes. Severe heavy rain. Minnesota going up into Canada. And then we just get our little bit of a break here on Thursday. Thursday is pretty much the only break we're going to get for a while. Going into Friday. Friday's not looking too bad, so we're only going to get a few days. Now you'll be seeing clouds seeding out ahead of all this moisture. But as we get up here into July 20th, I forgot to back this up. They're going to finally move the jet stream here in a little bit here. Let me get back up on the 20th here. So here we are on Saturday, July 20th. Same areas. The rain keeps hitting the same areas. All up in the north. And here's a big time weather alert day for Minnesota again on the 21st. But this isn't going to be the worst one. This is going to be major flooding again up here where all the dams and levees are already broke, going up into Canada. So they're just going to keep on packing these rivers down. And here we are on Monday, July 22nd. This is pretty much like a land cyclone up here. I mean, it's a wind event, super low pressure, and all this rain is going to be popping off the arm of that. But here we go. We're going up into the 23rd. This is where it's going to start getting tricky. The East Coast is going to be flooded 2 or 3 times before what I'm getting ready to show you comes in. So here we are on the 23rd. Everything's all soaked and wet going into Thursday, July 23rd. and they're going to start conjuring up a hurricane. Look, it already has a cyclonic formation here on the 23rd. Go up here into the 24th. It still has a cyclonic formation on it. While, all in the meantime, while they're already pre-flooding out the whole southeast. And then all of a sudden bam, it turns into a low pressure. Check this out. This is on the 24th, Wednesday, July 24th. This thing's going to start rotating. They're crashing down the jet stream, pushing the high pressure out. And then you got a big high pressure over off the west coast. And this thing's all by itself right here in the Gulf of Mexico, right in the hottest part of the ocean right now. Already severe storms popping off all the way from, Nevada all the way across the east coast. So let's go up in, this is the 25th. Let's go later in the day on the 25th. Look, it's starting to wrap up. They're going to create another Hurricane Michael right here. Pressure is going to drop to 900. And it's going to wrap up tight. 995. Look at this. This is a full-fledged hurricane right here on the 26th. I mean, it's going way down into pressure of 987. This is the same path as Hurricane Michael. Exact same formation. We covered that one too. This is the same thing, same path, same everything. So it's going to be another man-made cyclone, and look at the rain amounts going up. So this is all going into the 27th, 28th. It's going to go all the way up into Canada, up into Toronto. Here we are on the 29th. Now we're going to check the other models too. But the thing is, if we can stop them from creating this, because this is the weather plan. We've been showing this every Sunday night. The forecasts have been right on the money, unless we force the issue and make them change this weather plan by exposing it. So yeah, that's a heads up. So you got, today's the 14th. You got 12, 13 days to get ready, 10 days at least. Let's go ahead and check the Canadian model. It's a little different. But what we do is we go in between the two models, and then we factor in all the weather engineering as it comes. There's also going to be a big temperature swing coming. Now that they marinated us with all this water, it's time to cook us out. So let's go here. The Canadian model don't go up near as far, but we're going to take this up 6 hours at a time. We'll just watch this fake Barry storm go on and flood Arkansas for the next several days, and then start heading northeast, where they don't even know what the sun is anymore. Hey, thanks there, Cynthia. So yeah, so here's our couple-day break according to the Canadian model. And the Canadian model's not going to make it up to the 24th, but it is showing a cyclone over in the Pacific there. So it's not showing the hurricane that's going to be developed right here, but it is showing a couple cyclones that have been trying to go on over there, but they're not letting it. So I wanted to get back. So this one isn't going to show me where they changed the jet stream. Let's go ahead and check the total amount of precipitation, and that's going to give you another good idea of the target zones for this 2 weeks of weather. So let me get this to load up here. Yeah, if you watched the video the other night, Barry, man, they have that same storm every 6 years. That was the 36-year anniversary of the 93 hurricane called Barry. So look, here's the target zones. This is the next, 16 days of moisture. This is the target. We've been calling this for months, that they were going to shift the heavy flooding from the central part of the United States. Now it's over to the east. They're going to flood the south and the east out. let's go ahead and check the, let's go through the temperature models while we're here. We got triple digit heat. Like I said, it's going to come in. They've already marinated us, so now they need to cook us. They're going to cook us out. It's going to, even though the ground is going to be so moist, it's going to crack the ground up. There will be no planting. They just destroyed the rest of the farmlands in the south. So let's go ahead and just take this up. You know, they're cooking California right now, cooking Nevada. See if we can get this to load. Looks like everything's running kind of slow. You know, you got 113 degrees there in Southern California, but it's going to get hot all the way up into South Dakota. So here's the first little heat waves coming in. 102 degrees in Oklahoma. Take this up, look, 100 degrees. Kansas. 95 degrees right there at the border of South Dakota. It's going to let up a little bit. Then here's another triple digit heat right up the center. So we got triple digit heat coming in. A couple spots over on the East Coast. Look at this, 100 degrees all the way up in Nebraska. That's a big push of hot air right there. It just keeps coming every couple of days. Look at this, 102. All the way up into the border of Nebraska, 102 degrees. That's pretty insane right there. Big old hot spot over here for West Virginia. Oh, that was 104. Look at that, 104 at the border of Kansas, Colorado. 101 up in Nebraska. I mean, this is ridiculous heat. Already coming in. Look at this, 102 in Virginia. 102 degrees. 102 in Oklahoma. You got 90s, maybe almost close to 100 up in South Dakota here on the 14th. Big, nice hot spot of triple digits for South Dakota on the 21st. Let's see what this map looks like when it comes up to the hurricane day. If I can get it up here. You know, here comes the crash down of the jet stream. They're going to crash this jet stream down, which is going to help push that hurricane right over Florida. So coming up into when the hurricane's going to hit, you're looking at 103 degree temperatures for Florida. Triple digits. Imagine what the water, look, you can see the coolness, that little circle right there of the forming hurricane. Look at that. It's showing up in the heat models too. Look at that thing. Here's our crash down jet stream that's been locked over Canada all summer long. And they're just going to park it, let it run right up the East Coast. So some pretty big changes coming. All right, let's go ahead and let me bring this back over here. So that's the 16-day forecast. You know that they're going to try to conjure up a hurricane around the 24th, 25th, 26th, should hit landfall around the 26th. And we'll see if we stop them. We'll see if the Canadian model, if they quit spraying the bunker fuel down here and cause that hurricane or cyclone. So we have spraying operations still out here off the coast of Oregon, Washington. We're going to check the bunker fuel here in a minute. I know I probably move around a little fast here. I got to check the layers here. So you see they have a pretty big targeted spray right over the forest. They're getting ready for the forest fire season. Getting ready to put it into full swing. You know, they said they were going to have even though we've had tons of rain everywhere, they're going to light the forest up. They got to make way for the railroad, the One World train. So I'm just kind of looking here, see where And I've already showed down here how they're spraying all over the storm berry. Looks like clouds, but it's not. Click the layers around a little bit, then you can spot in here and see they're dropping all kinds of chemicals into the sky. Big long straight lines. That's not water vapor. Water vapor don't turn into a weather system. These are heavy metals. They're spraying everything. Look at these straight lines. They got super grid patterns sucking in the inflow to help seed the storm. I actually think they did a crappy job with this storm, but I guess it's doing what they wanted it to do. So yeah, definitely spraying there. Aerosols way up here in the Atlantic even. Let's go ahead and check the ship tracks real quick while we're here. Now they've been just targeting like crazy out here off the Bajas. And there's a few right here. They're very hard to pick up. You got like 4 or 5, and then so they're targeting this area right where I'm circling. So pretty much right off the mouth of the Baja there. Looks like they've let up down there farther south, and they're back over here. They're back over here, getting ready to split the high pressure systems. And we got some kind of, look, there's like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's like 7 ships getting ready to go off right here in the southern part of that. Look, we can go all the way over to yesterday's and see where they were yesterday. And if you're new here, we're looking at these are the weather modification ships out here. They're dropping what's called bunker fuel. And I know if you're new, it's hard to pick up at these long straight lines where you can see it starts into nothing and then flares out. Like here's one going this way, one going that way. These are all dropping toxic emissions, toxic bunker fuel. All these long straight skinny lines, all these are ship tracks. But it's seeding the sky. It's like a low level seeding program. So they're seeding from the, yeah, you can barely see it. But yeah, they were definitely spraying heavy over here. We can probably go back another day. Probably won't load. But yeah. And it's weird because you only find these ship tracks mainly in the Pacific. You find them down here off the coast of Australia. They're using the bunker fuel down here in Australia. They're everywhere. That's because this is where their weather pulls up from. They seed the storms just like we do here in America. Now you will find them sometimes up here in the Atlantic, but not very often. Only when they're having like the storm of the centuries do you see the ship tracks. But they're always out here in the Pacific. Not always, but most of the time they're out here splitting the high pressures, steering the jet streams. Got a few of them down here, so we are on the right date. Okay, let me take that off. And I think I've seen a few right out here off the coast of Peru. We got a few ship tracks today. We got aerosols being deployed again in Argentina. Hey, much love out there, Michael. You know where you don't see aerosols or 5G? We have listeners out here in Israel, but they have the most clear weather ever. If they get clouds, they're like the, you know, white puffy clouds. There was only one aerosol, you know, operation deployed over the north part of Israel back in January. One time. But look, if you go on over a little farther, we see them all over here. But check out this giant operation all the way from Somalia. It goes all the way across India, all the way across the Andaman Sea, all the way across Thailand, all the way up past Taiwan, up into Japan. This is a mega UN spraying operation out here. It's going on. I mean, this is all aerosols. All this gray looking clouds. These are all chemtrails. You can click the layers. You can dig in here and see all the planes and all the X patterns. You can see the colors not right. That's not normal clouds. But this spraying operation takes up thousands and thousands and thousands of miles. You know how many planes it would take to do this? It's a lot. It's a crap load of planes. And they're out here. This is all part of the plan, the weather plan. So just mega spraying operation. You got like dust being sucked into the storms. So that's probably about all the time we'll spend on this worldview map. Let's go ahead, get that one closed out. Here we can show you, we get this highlighted a little bit here. And we'll show you the aerosols being deployed in action. So just, you'll see all this grid patterns start popping up. Look at them long liners being deployed. We'll zoom in a little bit more on this. But you see they're completely cloud seeding this whole spinning system. They're even seeding over the system. I think we got another one here, a little bit zoomed in version. So all these weird looking grayish clouds, all these long straight lines shooting across the screen here, that's all man-made chemtrails right there. That's man-made cloud seeding operations. I mean, just all over. It's ridiculous what they're doing. And no, they're not doing it for good. I'm sorry, but whoever that guy is over there, he's falling for the BS, like a false prophet. All right, so we got that. Let's go ahead and check the worldview map real quick. No, we don't give up. You don't give up. You keep trying, but you can't believe in false information. There's only one person that you need to talk to. All right, let's go ahead and check the polar vortex winds. All right, so everything is still looking pretty wild here on the, let's check the jet stream. So the jet stream is still bypassing the United States, but before that hurricane comes, they're going to create a huge trough right here. It's going to come right down, and that way that hurricane will only have one direction to go, right over Florida. I think they missed with Barry. I think Tropical Storm Barry was supposed to be the one that hit Florida and went up the East Coast, and they didn't hit the target. They got a little bit too far west, so they're going to try again here coming up on the 25th. Let's go ahead and check the ocean. Thanks out there, everybody in the super chat. Much love out there. It definitely helps keep us going. Pretty good wave warnings going on down there. All right. Make sure I'm on the right date and all that stuff. Let's check the sea surface temperatures. Let's check the sea surface anomalies. So look at this heat dome over here, over the Bering Strait, out here in the Pacific. You know, what's going on up here? Why are they cooking it up there? I mean, you got cold water here up the coast of the Bajas, but you got intense heat anomalies way up into the north. Let me check the currents. If we can get it to load here. It looked pretty strong. And here's a little issue with the currents. There's no currents to pull this nasty water, all this, you know, all that crap that's floating in the water up here where it's all stagnant. There's no currents pulling in here and getting this stuff out. It's just trapped in there like a toilet bowl. Let's go ahead and check the carbon monoxide. Still got the horrible air over here in California. Really bad. So on top of the super triple digit heat over there, you got carbon monoxide just not off the charts, but it's pretty damn nasty. It looks worse than the fires going on in Alaska. Same thing with the upper northeast. All right, so yeah, we got high carbon dioxide concentration, so everything's being trapped in. You got like cloud inversion going on there in Southern California. That's like the highest on the planet. It's even higher than all the fire zones. Yeah, that's right. Like, you can't give up. You got to keep fighting. That's why I'm here. I mean, I could feel sorry for myself and not do anything and just try to enjoy life. But why? If you got kids and grandkids, man, you want to make sure they have a chance. That's why we're out here fighting. We don't do this for our health or for popularity or any of that crap. It's because we care. So here we are looking at the dust. We got more waves of dust. I wish I could take this all the way up to the 25th to see if this will affect the hurricane that's going to develop, but we'll just have to wait till it gets a little bit closer and keep our eyes on that, because that's one thing that could disrupt that hurricane. You know, but I don't know, you know, when they crash that jet stream down, it's going to be doing some crazy stuff there. So here, let's check the PM 2.5s. So it's actually starting to clean up a little bit, unless you're down here in the southeast. Check the PM 10s. Now, these are particulates. They're carcinogenic. They're super bad for you. If you start coughing and hacking a whole bunch, this is what it's from. The mainstream don't tell you just how bad this stuff is. So what do we got? We got a fire down here or something. I mean, the volcano right here don't look that bad, but there's been a pretty crazy anomaly down here for days. And then this thing over here, I know there's some deserts and stuff over there, but I just don't know where that's coming out of. It could be just the sand. Look, the Saharas are actually good. It's like all the dust blew away. Let's check the PM2s. These are probably bigger. Yeah, more like the PM10s. But look, man, it's really starting to lighten up. It's like all the dust is flowing over here. All the bad particulates. Let's go ahead and put this on a full view here. Yeah, what can you do? You can stop watching mainstream media. You can stop reading the newspapers. You can start going to your town hall meetings and demand the weather, you know, the weather people to stop this crap. You can get all these sock puppet, you know, bad people out of office. You know, all this stuff is just like a charade. It's a movie. It's a soap opera. It's up to us. That's why we're called Generation X, because we're the last ones to battle this, because it's already been a battle for the minds of the kids. Look what they've done to the kids. They got them so confused to make them not know what gender they should be. I mean, this is just, it's all going on right in front of everybody's face, and they don't even care. I got the, okay, I thought I had that enabled there. Anyway, guys, we're going to go ahead and call this a show. I want to thank everybody that helps us keep this operation going. No fear. And we don't give up. We keep fighting, man. that's what we're supposed to do. We're not supposed to sit back and shelter in place. We are the resistance, and we refuse to shelter in place. We're going to fight. Anyway, guys, much love. We're going to play a song called Rise, and we are going to have to rise. Otherwise, the New World Order will take over. I mean, they are. So you got to keep the good out front of the evil, man. That's all. That's what it matters. Anyway, guys, much love. Let's hit this song, and then I'll come join you in chat. Anyway, guys, much love. Heads up for later in the month here. Here we go.